My dear listener, has this question ever kept you up at night? And the question is, can we come back from this? That it's that moment when a friendship that you valued suffers a crack in it. Whether it's like a sharp break or a slow erosion, something's different now. And trust trust feels fragile or gone entirely in this friendship, and you're left wondering if repair is possible or if you're just holding on to a memory. Well, today we're talking about that delicate space. How to rebuild trust in a friendship after it's been broken or decimated. If, when, and how to move forward in that friendship without abandoning yourself along the way. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Again, for the next few minutes, I'm just doing a couple today because I'm catching up from yesterday when I didn't post because my arm. Thank you for showing up in conversations like this one, ones we don't often get to explore how to navigate. As always, I just want to remind you, I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to give clinical advice. I'm just a fellow human being alongside you, someone who's wrestled with these questions and experiences in real life. And I believe that if we want friendships that last, good quality friendships, not just in time, but also in depth, we need to root them in integrity and intimacy. Integrity for me is when your actions match your values, even when it's difficult. And intimacy is saying into me, seeing, allowing yourself to be known, especially when things get messy. But here's the myth I believe we need to break right off the bat. Time does not automatically rebuild trust. Silence does not equal healing. Avoiding the hard conversation does not mean that things are repaired. Trust isn't something that we wait for. It's something that we rebuild brick by intentional brick. And when we hear broken trust, we picture big betrayals and lies and secrets and disloyalty. But in most friendships, trust erodes through smaller, repeated moments. The friend who says, let's catch up, but never follows through. Or the time that you opened up and they dismissed it. The boundary that you set that kept on getting ignored. The season where you showed up, but they disappeared emotionally. Sometimes it's not what they did, it's what they stopped doing. The consistency, the care, the presence, those things that you valued. And listener, I want you to pause here and reflect. Is there a friendship where trust did not break all at once, but it faded piece by piece? Have you been pretending things are fine just to avoid admitting that you no longer feel safe leaning in? That's where today's conversation lives, not just in betrayal, but in the quiet ache of disconnection. I mean, should he even try to rebuild? Discernment should come first. And before we dive into how to rebuild, let's ask the harder question. I mean, should you rebuild after trust has been broken? Because not every friendship is meant for repair, I believe. And chasing restoration out of guilt or fear or nostalgia will only lead to more pain. So here are 5 questions to help you figure that out, to discern. Has accountability been offered without being forced, or Or did they name their part freely, or did you have to drag the truth out of them? Is there evidence of change in their life, or just apologies? Because words are easy, but behavior, it tells the true story, doesn't it? Or do I feel emotionally safe imagining reconnecting with this person? Or do I just feel obligated? Am I hoping to rebuild or hoping to rewrite the past? Because you have to be careful not to seek repair as a way to undo old wounds, right? Can I stay connected without sacrificing my current boundaries, for example? Is being close, does it require me to shrink? Because that's not trust, that's tolerance. So take your time with these questions, journal them, sit in the discomfort if you need to, because discernment is a part of integrity. But let's consider now how to rebuild, if it's right to do so, and if you've reflected. And if you feel that this friendship is really worth rebuilding, here's what healthy repair can look like. Firstly, start with the truth, not tension or avoidance. Like, open the door by naming the reality. Say something like, I value what we had, but I also know trust was impacted, and I'm open to rebuilding, but only if we're both honest about what actually happened. Secondly, set a slow pace and don't rush back to how things were. Let this connection breathe, like small check-ins, light conversations, watch for consistency. And thirdly, create new boundaries. Together with them, discuss what safety looks like now. It could be different. Say something like, here's what I need to feel secure moving forward. How about you? Fourthly, you can consider monitoring your body's response. So trust your nervous system on this one here. If you feel like you're on the edge, like you're waiting for the next letdown, that's information, that's data. So slow down in that moment. Fifthly, allow the friendship to become something different. You're not trying to restore the old dynamic. You may want to, but that's not what we're trying to do. You're instead co-creating a new one informed by growth and clarity. So remember, like, repaired trust isn't about forgetting. It's about building something stronger because you remember. It's earned slowly and together. But if trust cannot be rebuilt, like, how do you release it without bitterness? You see, sometimes after all the reflection, you realize they just are not willing, or they aren't able, or you no longer feel like it's right to continue. And I think that's okay. It's hard, but it's okay. And here's how to release with integrity. Acknowledge what the friendship meant without denying what it became. Forgive, not to excuse, but to free yourself from carrying that resentment. And then close this chapter intentionally, whether through conversation or through a quiet internal decision. Resist the urge, my dear friend, to rewrite the story as it was all bad. Like, that's not fair. It's possible to hold both gratitude and grief. And you're not weak, my dear listener, for choosing not to rebuild. You're wise for honoring where trust can really thrive. So, what's next? Trust is sacred, and when it breaks, it wounds deeply. But when it's rebuilt with care and honesty and alignment, it has the capacity to deepen that connection in ways that surface level friendships could never reach. So whether you choose to repair or release, let integrity guide your steps. And let intimacy, the willingness to be seen, let that anchor you in your truth. In the next episode, I want to explore a little bit of why some friendships seem to fade without closure, and how to find peace in the midst of that scenario. Because not every ending comes with answers, right? And that doesn't mean that you can't move forward. But if this episode resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, to journal, share it with someone who's navigating similar waters. And as always, my dear listener, go gently. Be kind to yourself, because you're doing much better than you think.